graduated from college, I wanted to fill that void in my life. So I started teaching group fitness. And again, it was a lot of cardio. And then I had some kids, got married, had some kids. And then I finally came to this realization that this is not what I want. I want to take up space. I grew up in a generation like watching my mom with jazzercise and everyone wanted to be skinny. And it was just a different generation then. I'm so thankful for my girls growing up now in this era where women are valued for being strong and taking up space and being able to lift weights and eat food. And I just, after I had kids, I was like, I want to do something that is for me. And so I decided in 2016 that I was going to kind of shift away from teaching group fitness and doing all the cardio and to start learning about weight training and lifting and doing all that. So that is kind of where I started.
Everybody has that start, like especially as you have children. Life kind of changes. They grow up. They're not as dependent on you those first few years. When they're babies, they always need mama for this. But then when they start getting to their, early teens, teenage years, says, "Mom, we don't really need that." But everybody needs their mother. My mother was a great lady. I loved her. She was the one who really inspired us children to want to be something more. So, what was that spirit for your first competition, and what was the division you started in before you got into bodybuilding?
Yeah, I started in figure. That was my first competition in 2016, and that was here, a local show here in Kalamazoo. So I had no expectation. Actually, I enjoyed that first show because you don't really, it's kind of exciting because you don't really know and you don't have expectations on yourself. You're just trying to, you know, follow the process and enjoy the training and kind of get to that stage. And I did good. I won the overall, and I enjoyed my whole experience. And I think with bodybuilding, if you love the training, which I love to train, and I love the process, and if you can do those things, I think you can be successful in the sport. And I was fortunate enough to then go to another show to qualify for a national qualifier. So I won that show as well. And so from there, because I was older, I was already 40. So I was able to go to the Masters Nationals in Pittsburgh. And I started there in figure, where I didn't really have that X frame for figure. So I kind of placed, I think there was 24 of us in my first show there in Pittsburgh at Masters Nationals. And I think I placed 12th out of 24. And so with my coach talking, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I could stick in figure. I just don't have that shape. So she's like, let's try women's physique. So I fell in love with it, and I love the posing routines. Obviously, having a dance background, being able to, do the posing and things like that, and not having to wear those high heels, and just to be able to focus on getting stronger in your lifts and progression. And then I competed, let's see, um, three more times up until 2020. I think I placed fourth in women's physique, and then second, and then won my pro card at North Americans in 2020.
Yeah, I know figure it has a particular look to it where it's more of kind of a slender look. How some ladies tell me you have that nice round, wide shoulders, a nice upside down Dorito shape where you have very
Yes.
narrow in the waistline. It's kind of like what physique's like, but still a little bit more mass and muscle. And the details is often different. And the one thing, yes, I've known quite ladies who switch from figure and bikini to physique because they get tired of those high heels, those things.
Yeah, and honestly, I think, with the posing for figure, you really can't hide your I felt like I had like a blockier waist and things like that, so I didn't feel like I could really change that shape of mine. So, I was like, let's just go into women's physique and see how we do there. So, I think I found where I belong, and I've just loved it ever since.
Mhm, yeah. We have here, excuse me, we have a guest here, my man KL the Wanderer. Shout out to him. Excuse me, just popping in. He says, hello. Excuse me, hello. He says hello to him. Say hello back to my man.
Hello.
Also, he says, this is Michelle. I enjoy watching your workout reels. I'm having auditions for a fit woman like yourself to be in an action movie. I'm making you are the inspiration. My man Kale, he also does content on women on bodybuilding. He's more a fan of the women of muscle than he's just a sport. But yeah, I just started following Michelle on her YouTube channel. She puts some good content, guys. So if you want to follow her, the link's in the description of the live. You can follow her and support her. But you know my rules, guys. We'll get to that part later. So okay, so you made a switch to physique, and it was because you critique because you did that was a teen collegiate that was in the that's in Pittsburgh. That's run by Gary Udick. He was also running up this weekend the amateur Arnold this weekend.
Yeah.
And who was the judge that did you get judge feedback at that time, or you decided that you and your coach decided just let's go ahead and move over?
No, I did get feedback. Sandy was a judge when I did figure
Sandy Williamson.
yeah, that first time, and she did say I just really needed, my legs were overpowering my upper body, so I really needed to like get that X frame, to make my waist look tall, smaller. Really needed to like work on my shoulders, my lats, to pull those out to make those bigger so I could get that X frame. So yeah, she was great. I mean, I think I could have stayed in figure. It just, like I said, I think it just would have taken me um a different style of training to fit into that the criteria.
Yeah, but if you look at now the criteria, especially in the IFBB level, the women are getting a lot bigger,
Oh,
larger. I mean, you look at someone like one example is Jessica Rapadilla, who didn't have a dip in women's physique a while, some time ago. One lady who I had a fortunate opportunity to meet when I was in Tampa, and this was she was also figure herself, but now she's number 2 in the world in women's bodybuilding, and that is Ashley Jones. And yeah, I look like a bear eating a little baby. So
I love her. I love her. I did some posing with her when I transitioned to women's physique, when I got my pro card. She helped me with my routine, and she is just a blessing to the sport. I've watched her over the years, and she is just the sweetest, most genuine person, and love her to death. And she is great posing. I mean, she comes from that gymnastics background, so
mhm.
yeah, she was phenomenal. If anyone needs a posing coach or a coach, I mean, she's someone definitely that you'd want to reach out to.
Yeah, I know she has quite a few clients. I interviewed some of them recently. One lady whose her name is Shakela O'Neal, who just got a pro card in nationals.
Okay.
I've even she's even gave me a shout out right after she won her pro card. I mean, won not pro card, won her second place at the Olympia. It was great for her to give me that because I appreciate that. But yeah, the levels have changed. Even if you're looking physique has changed, where the women are. I'm looking at girls right now who could do women's bodybuilding. I mean, if you've seen recently, there was one lady who also was in Tampa, named Mega Santa Barbara or Meg Borsa, Dr. Meg. She's right now off season sitting at 200 pounds.
Yeah, I think that's, women, honestly, when I think about women's physique and I kind of compare it to the men's division, like men's open bodybuilding and men's classic, I really feel like we're kind of blurring the lines between women's bodybuilding and women's physique. I would love to see women's physique stay women's physique, right? We see a lot of women bodybuilders coming down to women's physique and having those really bigger physiques that really probably would fit more into bodybuilding. And it's like you said, it's really hard to say like which division you're in, women's physique or women's bodybuilding, because everyone's kind of looking really big now. So I don't know. I want to stay true to who I am and myself and what I want. And I know my coach now is really about health and longevity in the sport, and bodybuilding for me is just a hobby. I mean, I have a full-time career, I have kids, I have a family. I just do this for a hobby, and to get to, a level to grow bigger, I don't know if I can do that or want to be that big. So I don't know. I mean, I want to have muscle, but I also want to appear feminine and my health. And I feel like I want to represent the sport in a feminine and muscular way.
That's important. That I know that's always a big debate, especially women in the sport, to hold their femininity versus the muscularity of the sport as athlete as you evolve over time, especially when
Yeah.
you're a mature athlete. Sometimes it's a lot harder for that size because you're older. It's not the same when you're young. You're bush tail and bright eyed, and Like one person who I also met who is a young lady herself is Paula Ranta,
Oh
and
yeah,
she's
she's
at
amazing.
she's another total level. But you got to think about it. She's 26 years old. What were we doing? What were you doing at 26?
Yeah, I was just starting my career. I mean, I wasn't even married yet, didn't have kids yet. I was just focused on my job and my career, I think, at that time when I was 26, and probably doing a lot of cardio, probably doing a lot of group fitness classes and things like that. So it wasn't even weight training at that time.
Me, I was holding down two jobs. I was working at a gas station, working at a textile plant. It's just I was living with my mom. And
Yeah.
I had no kids. I don't have kids now either. But that's the thing is about life. And you talk about your career. What do you do for a living? What's that about?
I do sales. I work for a big pharma company. I've done that for 25 years. So love my job. I work out of my car pretty much. I call on hospitals, doctors' offices, health departments, things like that. And just really in the healthcare industry and helping people. And yeah, it's been a really blessing to have this job. I mean, I really enjoy it so much.
Yeah, well, appreciate that because I myself I took care of my mom. She was sick for a long time, and she's dealing with that. Myself also have issues. I have a pacemaker. I had it for almost
Oh gosh.
12 years. I got it when I was like not even 40 yet.
Oh
And
my gosh.
it's a necessary thing though, especially with people dealing with illnesses and stuff like that, mental issues, physical issues. We get older, the body just not is like we talked about Paula earlier. The body changes. Sometimes we need a little help, something to help us. Like I got two bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin because, years of working in concrete does not bend when you walk up and down on it. We have here another guest. Shout out to my man Josh from the female bodybuilding empire. He says, "What's good, George and Michelle? Not much, brother. How about you?" Also, my man KL. He says this. He says, "In your opinion, you don't need to be bigger. You look strong enough." But to each their own. Yeah, there you go, you guys. You got a little flex. You got a little flex. So put away your tissue, your lotion. You're good. So But yeah, because I think everybody has certain particular talents when it comes to the sport. They have a certain look to them, a certain way to grow. And thing also go back with bodybuilding is the issue of performance enhancers. And again, I've told often that it's not the main part of it. It's only that thing that helps maybe with your recovery, helps with your structure. It's not the be all be all. If you take like quite often, excuse my language, I might say this, you know, people tell me like George, I can take somebody can take the shit I take, but they're still not going to look like what I look like because if you don't train, you don't diet, don't be disciplined, and don't stick to a plan. Because as my other guy says, like this, he says, I don't have a plan, Michelle. I'm just a dog chasing cars. I don't know what to do when I get one. So
Yeah, I think the training and the diet, I mean, those are what's going to drive you to grow. And time. I just think it takes time. I mean, everyone wants something in this world so quick and so fast. And especially for those younger athletes, I'll tell you, it took me 10 years to get here, and it takes like that consistency and that patience just to take the time. The stage will always be there. I mean, build your physique, take the time to love training and love eating and getting stronger in the gym and feeling all that and build that body before you feel like you need to get onto that stage, because it's always going to be there. And it's, you're on there for what, 90 seconds, maybe not even that, after you've been working so hard. So really focus on building the foundation first, and then just building on top of that, because it takes a lot of time and a lot of patience, a lot of consistency. And for younger athletes, I think they want to look like an Olympian tomorrow, and it's not going to be like that. So you just got to take your time.
yeah, that's the problem with younger people. They want everything quick, fast, in a hurry. And nothing works like that. It takes time, takes discipline, it takes consistency, it takes determination and patience.
Yes.
It's not gonna it's like this old saying, Rome was never built in a day. It takes time. And you gotta value time. Also, if you're a young person, just enjoy life. Look at it not as a this is a career. Look at this as a hobby, but it's a very expensive hobby. If you look at other sports, because if you look at other sports like football, baseball, basketball, you can make a living. There's
Yeah.
only a handful of competitors who are top of the game who can make a living from the sport. Everybody's is just going through the motions.
Yeah, I don't know honestly how younger athletes do this. I mean, like I said, wasn't until I was 40. I mean, I had a job and financially like successful and able to support this sport, but I mean, if you don't have the finances to support yourself, I mean, it's going to be a struggle because it does take a lot of number one time and a lot of finances to do the sport. I mean, it's like I said, it's a big commitment to do it and to do it the right way.
Yeah, because you know what? It's the thing is that if you understand, like this, people say they trust the process, but let's understand the process first before we trust it, because it's going to take time, money, investment. Especially when you want to be a competitor.
Yeah.
It's not easy for anybody to get into sport, especially we look at it again for a woman at a point, because here's like this society, women like yourself, like I said, like for guys, she's a beautiful lady. She's pumped, she's a beautiful lady. But society looks at this as a woman with muscle as something like it's an offense to them. It's like, you get all these muscles. Why you want to be so muscular? Why don't you be like a man? Why just be a lady?
Yeah, I don't listen to that anymore. I mean, some people make those comments, but I think for me that having muscle, being strong, and honestly, I just want to be a good role model for my kids, for my daughters. My daughters were both competitive gymnastics all the way through high school. They're in college now, and I am so blessed and so thankful that they are so comfortable in their skin. They get up in the morning, they go to the gym, they have muscle on their body, they eat good food, they understand that women can be strong, and it's been a blessing to watch them thrive, and I feel like kind of setting that
Hey,
stage for
folks, we
them
have
and
a little
showing
technical
them that
difficulties. I hope it's
it's
not on my end.
okay to be a strong woman. I think I lost you.
Give you
Oh, okay, you're back.
yeah, I don't know. It must be some work going around this week, because But yeah, about your daughters, yeah. How old are your babies? How many you have?
I have three. I have a son who's 22 who just graduated and has his first job. And then I
Oh,
have two daughters. One is 21, she's a junior in college, and then one who's 19, who's a sophomore in college. So they go to the same school actually. So they're together. But like I said, they're amazing kids. My son too is an amazing athlete. He still trains and works out, does all that good stuff. Meal preps. I was talking to him yesterday, and him and his roommate were prepping meals for the week. So I just feel like when you're a mom and can role model that and show them that you can do this when you move away from home, it's such a good skills for them to have.
yeah. I know you're proud of your babies. They're about grown. One's
Yeah.
your little man. He's a big man now. And this is saying this: a boy's best friend is his mother. My
He,
mother. I love her. It's been like about at least about 6 years coming this summer since she passed. And you know what? You can never replace a mother. And here's what this quote is: it's a mother's job to teach a woman to become a woman. It's a father's job to teach a man to become a man. But always the number one person in our lives when it comes to a woman is our mother. Girlfriends and boyfriends pass away. And it's important that you teach your children, and also your husband what his values, And how long y'all been together?
oh my gosh, we've been married. It will be 24 years. 24 years in July. So, and we were together 2 years before that. So 26 years total. So,
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. My parents were together for 55 years, even though 30 of my dad was living in New Jersey while we're still down here in North Carolina. But yeah, it's good that y'all have a good relationship. I know he supports you and your body in the past, because sometimes I've talked to ladies where they get into sport because it's so extreme, and the extreme nature of it, it kind of changed the relationship. Like I've known ladies told me that they got divorced because the bodies were changing. The guys didn't like what they were looking because they traditionally as men, we like our women to be soft and feminine, not rock hard and huge and bigger than us.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely takes a special man, and I'm very blessed and thankful that he supports me 100%. So do my kids. I mean, my husband, my kids, they're my number one fan. And I don't think you can do this sport without a support system like that. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand if your relationship wasn't solid, that it would be so hard and so stressful, especially in prep, when you're tired or hungry, and if your husband or kids aren't supporting that, I mean, it can be a big struggle. But I am very thankful. They come to my shows or watch on the live stream, or are so proud of me. So I'm very fortunate, and I'm thankful every single day, just grateful for the gift I've been given, my family, and the presence to inspire hopefully other women my age, that you're never too old, it's never too late. Just to be a good role model. You don't have to be a bodybuilder. I just want women to be a good role model for their kids, their families, and taking care of yourself and putting yourself first, and being able to work out, because there's something to be said about when you go to the gym and can take 60 minutes for yourself during the day. As a mom, you're going to be a better mom. You're going to be a better wife. You're going to be a better employee. Everything is going to be better when you feel good about yourself. So if you can work on the internal side of yourself, and obviously it makes you look better too. I mean, it's a win-win situation. So I think any woman who, just can take some time and realize that they can take the time for themselves and put themselves first.
Yeah, that's the thing is, it's important that you also spend the time with your family, also make yourself a priority. Because again, family can really wrap yourself. You can be just like, who was watching? Someone says that, I remember an interview with a lady said that when she got in bodybuilding, it made her more than just being a mom. It made her somebody else, somebody different. It gave her a purpose. Because
Yeah.
again, your kids are pretty much grown out of the house, just you and the husband, and you got to have something outside of that, just not just be a wife and be a mom or work a job. This is something that gives you something to do. It's a path that you found and you really enjoy your path. So, folks, we're talking to Michele here. We're going to do this. We're going to jump into her social media for a little bit. You want to check her out, the link's in the description of this live. You want to follow her, support her. That's most definitely, these ladies can use support because this is tough. This sport can be mentally, physically, emotionally, financially draining on anybody who gets into it. But support is most important and is also needed. But guys, and I know you guys out there, and I know Shelly's a lovely lady, and she's a buff lady too. And I know, I have to mention my crime Shelly. I almost a pair smile. I find y'all ladies very exotic and look. I mean, but also be respectful, guys. She got a kid, she got a man. No weird stuff. I don't want to be hearing her husband be and her son be dropping elbows in somebody in the middle of the street. I mean, over the mom. So your mom says, that's a woman. So, but be respectful. Reach out to your support because these ladies can really need it because this is tough. So, folks, we're jumping into social media for a little bit. We want to follow the links in the description and check her out. So, here we go here. And also, you should do some training because, like I said, some of the stuff is on her YouTube. You can catch it too. What's the week like for you when you're training?
Oh gosh, I do a two a day. So I get up in the morning and I do my cardio in the morning. So I always do my cardio first. Like I only have 35 minutes now to do first thing in the morning, maybe do some stretching and some sauna in the mornings. And then I go to work, and then I will definitely go back to the gym later in the day after I've had some fuel in my body, like 3 meals and some hydration and all that good stuff. And then I will go train in the afternoon.
Yeah. And what's your like when you're gym? What's your favorite thing to do? The first thing you want to do when you get in the gym?
When the first thing I want to do when I get in the gym, oh my gosh, I this is from yesterday. It wasn't really a training. It was more of a just a ab day, kind of like recovery day. But first thing when I love training any muscle group. So I love it all. So I just want to. I actually will walk on the treadmill for maybe 10, 10, 15 minutes, and really just not listen to anything and just kind of think about my training and kind of have that plan in my head. So I'd like to just focus on what my goals are for that day. So,
Yeah. So in training, what's your favorite training, and which the one you just I don't want to do this when I get here. I don't want to do
oh my
this.
gosh. Oh, that's really hard. I love back day. I love shoulders. I love legs. I don't know. It's probably my least favorite is probably like chest. Um, but other than that, I think everything is amazing.
Yeah. And you talk about you have a coach, and who's your coach now? Since you were with another coach, but who's your coach now?
Oh, my coach, he actually owns this gym that you see that I'm posing at. It's called House of Champions. His name is Mohammed Al Faraj, and he is a coach. And I've been with him for this is my third year. I just had to go to Houston, so I was in a hotel gym training right here. This hotel gym was amazing in Houston. They actually had dumbbells up to 100 pounds. I was shocked. So it was okay to actually have to train away from home for a week for work. So it was good. But my coach is amazing. He's taken me in my physique to a new level. I mean, when we first started working together, the first show I did, we were like middle of the pack. We did Masters World Pro in Pittsburgh, and out of I think it was 15, I was seventh. And then the next show we did, I went from seventh to second last year at Masters World Champion in Pittsburgh. So I stayed in that middle square all during prejudging. It was pretty amazing. So I felt like this is amazing. Yeah, I felt good. So we really did a great job being together for the past couple years.
And you compete in masters, and you play. I know it was the show that David mentioned. You were 50 plus, and I look at you, man. I'm 50, and I'm just, you make me look. I feel like I should be ashamed, because
Oh,
you're in great, amazing shape. Especially, we're seeing a lot of ladies who are coming into the sport later in life. I know some ladies tell me like, "Well, I wish I got into earlier," but then I think it's about timing again with having kids and responsibilities. And then once the kids are grown up, and now you had that time to train and work out and to invest yourself in sport of bodybuilding. But again, I mean, wow.
yeah, honestly, I'll be 54 next month. So, not young by any means, but like I said, I think it's the masters, the women we compete with. I love it backstage. I mean, we're not really talking about bodybuilding. We're talking about grandkids, our kids, our lives. I mean, it's just a different atmosphere when you're backstage with all the masters competitors. I mean, I look at people like Robin Mays, who went to the Olympia and what was she, like 58? I competed with her in Pittsburgh. And when she told me she was a grandmother, I was like, oh my gosh, that's just amazing. And yeah, it's so inspiring.
Well, I had the pleasure of interviewing Miss Mays a couple of years ago, and it was amazing for her to win her qualification for the Olympia at Toronto. She did that show last year. I interviewed the lady who won that show, no, not last year, 2024, when she did it in 2024. I interviewed Tracy Guy, who won that year. I told Tracy, you have Olympia level physique, and she won her first qualification. And
Wow.
then Robin come back, and she's done pretty good for herself. I mean, I think she was the oldest woman at that show in that division because and to compete both in the open class and the master's class, holding your own with women who might be 20, 30 years younger than you, that's pretty good.
Oh, it's so inspiring. And so inspiring. Yeah, every time I see her, I'm so inspired by her.
Yeah. Here she did as I said again, she did a receipt from my brother David. David's a
Yeah.
great guy. She's doing a little flex for David. Shout out to David.
Yeah.
And here she is also. She lives in. You live in where you live exactly?
I live in Michigan.
Ooh, I wouldn't want to trade that for the world. I'm happy here where I'm. You
Yep, I
know,
live in Michigan. It's been a brutal winter. It was very, very cold. So we made the best of it, but we're getting through it, thank God. So, like you said, we're into March now. So hopefully we can get some nice spring-like weather coming up soon.
won't
Yeah,
take
these are just
long.
some fun videos we did in the snow.
Yeah, you're wearing shorts.
Yeah. I think it was like I think it was like negative like 20 degrees that day. It was so cold too.
In my life, I never had anything go negative unless it's my bank account. That's the only time I know they've gone negative, negative, especially at the end of the month. Shout out here to my guests again. Shout out to my man here. Oh, shout my brother here. My brother, he says, Michelle is awesome, such a sweetheart. Thank you,
Thanks,
David. And
David.
again, David, as you know, David's going to be at the Arnold Expo that's coming up next this weekend. Check him out. Shout out to him. We appreciate him. And I love David. But again, David, why you had your hand on my girl? I just, and, he knows I get, it's not Whitney Jones I'm talking about. I'm talking about Andrea Shaw.
I know.
She's just amazing.
She
I'm a fan
is.
of this lady. I want to tell you a sweet story. My friend Eunice, shout out to my friend Eunice. Eunice is also a master competitor. I got to see her compete at the Tampa when she won 55 plus. This lady is 60,
Okay.
and you wouldn't
Okay.
believe it, And she, as again, she was a company Bad Rap. It was a couple of years ago. It was right a little before I think a little after my 49th birthday. She sent me this little gift.
Oh my
And
gosh.
and what
And
makes it and what makes it precious about this little gift is that it's just this is what really makes this what really fuels me, what keeps me going doing this content. When someone like the champ, 6-time, future 7-time Miss Olympia, tells me how much she appreciates what I'm doing.
aw, that's
This is
amazing.
this is my fuel. This is my fuel. What keeps me going, keeps me following you, ladies, reaching out to you and share you stories. I would love to have her on day one of these our day. One of these, I would love to have her on here one of these days, but it's a dream. So, but can I dream? Can I?
Of course you can. And she's from Michigan, so I could just like drive 2.5 hours to go train with her. So
I would just I wouldn't know what to do. I act like a complete fool. Like I said, I did a little video on my IG and I shared it. Was her, Carla Dunlap, and Linda Murray, and she took it and she reposted it on hers. And
awesome.
I was like, oh wow,
That's awesome.
yeah. Is anybody in sport that you really respect, admire as a competitor?
I'm sorry, what is there a person?
Yeah,
Would you
anybody in the division in the sport,
eh,
just anybody in general you really respect and admire.
yeah, Linda Murray for sure. I mean, she paved the way for us women. She's just a warrior in the sport as well as Andrea Shaw. I mean, those women, I think so many challenges against them, in women's sports like this early on, and to stick to what they believe in and to fight for us. I mean, that's amazing. And then Andrea Shaw, just so humble and so down to earth. And she's a person that you can tell is just wanting to give back and help people. And like that's what you want as ambassadors in the sport, are people who love what they do and love helping others and want to be role models for other women.
And one thing you can't help but she's party too.
She's so sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she's so sweet. I hear so many child talk about her. And Michigan, you have produced 3 Olympians, top
Yeah.
level Olympians, calling Linda, calling Andrea, and also Iris Kyle, who was one of the most dominant women in the sport. So many women. When I was coming up, for me, I came up in the good part of the '80s. It was people like Corey Everson,
Oh, yeah.
Carla Dunlap, Rachel McLesh. I also was fan of the guys like Arnold when he was competing, Lou Ferrigno, Arnold and Lou. Remember they were on pumping iron, like sitting in the bus and they, trying to muscle each other. This is a sport that, even though it's not mainstream, there are people that are very recognized. And right now, in your division, you have a little issue. I don't want to get into too much details in it,
Yeah.
but it's a shame that two, like I would say, not much as two, but one lady, Natalia has been on my channel before. She even commented in my lives a few times. I really
Oh,
appreciate
awesome.
that. I
Yeah.
appreciate what Sarah was doing before. Promoting shows like the Texas Pro and
Yep.
put her money where her mouth is. But now it kind of just, I just,
Yeah.
I know you don't want to get too much into this, but we're just gonna blaze over it. We have here a comment here. Shout out to my man David coming through as always. He says this. He says Michele reminds me of Sarah Piami in that she is a muscle mommy of 3 kids and she wants to inspire women in their 40s and 50s to hit the gym. Yeah, because like one thing is muscle does help with your body because
Oh my.
it can help you. Not it doesn't stop time,